What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Lila loves to cook. We've talked about this. I don't. I just like making meals for my family. Today I'm bringing you something special, sofrito. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Puerto Rican, and if you know anything about Puerto Rican food, or you know somebody that cooks Puerto Rican food, you know that sofrito is the holy grail to our meals. It is a Spanish cooking base. We typically make it at home. We make a lot of it so it lasts us. We put it in pretty much anything as far as our Spanish rice, our meats, our beans, our stews, our soups. And I'm going to show you today how to make it so that when I post a recipe on something that's either Puerto Rican or I actually add it into other things too, you can find the recipe and start using it yourself as well. You can find it in the store. The difference is they don't necessarily put everything that most people put in, so it doesn't have the taste that you would expect in sofrito. If that's all you can find and you want to use it, that's perfectly fine. Alright, so let's talk about what we need. You're going to need quite a few things, but trust me, when you make your food, when you make your rice, when you put this on your chicken, you're going to be like, girl, thank you. Because it's going to kick it up a notch. It's the cousin that you didn't even know you wanted invited to the party, but they came and jazzed it up and you guys had a blast. That's what sofrito is. So let's get started. First thing we need is bell peppers. Now I've already cut my bell peppers up. Everything's washed and ready to go. I used 6 bell peppers and I cut them up like this. Okay. You want to take out the membrane from the inside and you want to also pull the seeds. I used a yellow pepper, a red pepper, and an orange pepper. And I did the same thing, cut it about the same size. You're going to use 3 onions, 3 Spanish onions. This one's about the size of my palm. And when you cut it, you want to cut it about this big. Okay? So you don't have to dice it really small. Garlic. Now, I'm lazy. I'm not going to lie. I don't have time for all that. I can't stand touching garlic to begin with. So what I usually do is I go to the grocery store. I find these. And this is a 6-ounce bag. And I pour it out in the counter. And when you get it, it's going to have that little brown thing there that I can't stand. I just cut that off and wash it. So the whole bag goes in there. And then we use something called Ajies dulces. It looks like this. It looks kind of like a habanero, but it's not spicy. It's a little sweet. You may have trouble finding this because typically if you're in an area where there's a huge Hispanic population, they'll have them. It is not a habanero though because it looks a lot like it and it comes in different colors. Sometimes you'll get them in yellow, sometimes you'll get them in red. Make sure you read the label. If it's a habanero, don't grab it because this is not meant to be spicy. I'll let you know what you can use instead of this if you can't find this. And as far as how to cut it, I just take out this part here where the stem was and I pull it. And then the seeds pop right out underwater. So that's your clean ajies dulce. Okay, that's how it looks. If you can't find that, you can use these little sweet peppers. And you can get these at the regular grocery store. You know, these are the ones that, you know, parents pack their kids for lunch with sour cream or whatever. You could use these. That's perfectly fine. It's the next best thing. Today I'm actually going to use both. And then I do the same thing. I cut the stem off and then I just stick my hand in there, pull the little rib off, pull the seeds out, wash it underwater, and I'm done. So I used the whole bag of those. And like I said, if you can find the ajies dulces, fine. It's about a ½ pound of them that I put in. But if you can't, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's better than nothing. And then I used 3 stalks of cilantro. If you've never had cilantro, be careful when you pick it. Because it's not parsley. It looks different than parsley. Parsley has much smaller veiny leaves. This has 1 full leaf. And then I wash it. And then when I put it in, before I put it into the food processor, I cut the stem. I don't like these big giant stems. Okay, and they sell them in bushels. I put 3 bushels in. And the last thing, this may be a little bit hard to find as well. This is called culantro, culantro. And you see how it's got the little like spiky edges? I saw online that some people call this prickly cilantro. I don't even know how that's gonna help you because I've never heard that term before anyway. So if you go into a Spanish store, you're gonna look for culantro, and if you can't find this, it's okay. Making it without it is better than not making it at all. This has a very distinctive smell. It smells so good, and all of these things together, trust and believe, they're going to make your kitchen smell so good. Like you just know you're doing something because you get all those flavors mixing together, and they have a big old party. You're going to need a food processor. I make mine in a food processor. Some people make it in a blender. Now, back in the day, my grandma used to make it in a blender, but the blenders they had back then compared to what they have now are very different. The blenders now will liquefy this, and you want a chunky consistency, a little bit chunky to this. So I don't recommend putting it in a blender, but if you do, I definitely don't recommend you go out and buy a food processor if you're not going to be doing this all the time. You want some kind of an airtight container. I got these at Target many years ago, and they still smell like sofrito no matter how many times you wash it. But the reason you want them airtight is because you want this to last. So I fill these up and I put them in the freezer, and as I'm almost done with one, I take the other one out, and that's where I go from there. So definitely get yourself a few airtight containers if you're gonna make this much. A slotted spoon. I don't know why I always use a slotted spoon, but in this case it makes sense because what I want to do is I don't want a lot of liquid in my sofrito. I don't want it too thick either. So I like to, once I have it in a bowl, before I put it in there, I picked it up with a slotted spoon so a lot of that liquid falls out. And then lastly, I do put a little bit of Adobo Spanish seasoning. You can find it pretty much anywhere now. I use the red cap for this. If you don't want to put adobo, you don't have to. It's just something I've been doing for so many years that now I feel like if I don't do it, I miss something. So let's go ahead and get started. This is so easy, so easy. Can get a little messy, but trust me, you want to make it yourself versus buy it in the store. Because when I show you how to use it, and in one of my next videos, in the next couple videos, you're going to see the sofrito in action. You're going to want to be able to put it in your own meals. So let's go ahead and get started. I will be right back. We're going to show you how we put everything together, and we almost in the home stretch here because really the majority of the time is washing and prepping everything to get it into the food processor. Okay, so we are ready. Now, I'm just going to show you how I throw the things in, and I'm going to end up fast forwarding through this. I just want you to have an idea. There's really no wrong or right way to do this. Really, you just want to make sure that you're alternating all of your ingredients as you're putting them in so that you just don't have peppers in that first batch. Just take a little bit of everything, take it from there, and then as you see the food processor start to fill up, dump it into a big bowl and keep going sofrito is done. The only thing I want to do now is put the adobo in it, but I hope you can get a good picture from here. You see the chunks of all the different peppers, the garlic. There is a lot of liquid in here, and like I said, I like to leave it more chunky than liquid, so I pick it up with a solid spoon when I put it into my container. But I'm gonna go ahead and add my adobo, and I just sprinkle some on, not a lot, because I'm going to actually season my meat or my rice, whatever I'm gonna use it on, when I cook anyway. This is just something I like to do. I don't know if it has to do more with the smell. There's something about the smell of sofrito and adobo together. It's like, oh my god, it smells so good. Seriously, I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. This shit makes me want to cook right now, but that ain't happening. Anyway, so here's my sofrito. See how thick it is, but like I said, there is a lot of liquid. So we're just gonna go ahead and spoon them into our cups and stick them in our freezer. Look at that. I wish we had smell-o-vision. And that's it. That's your sofrito right there. Look, I leave a little bit of liquid in there, just enough so that it doesn't dry out, but a lot of the liquid's gonna stay in here. But the aroma is crazy. It is so good. Baby, I wish you could smell this kitchen. It smells so good. Here's my sofrito ready to go, ready to hit that pot. And let me tell you, when it does, like I told you, it's that cousin that's coming to be like, hey girl, where you been? This is it right here. This is going to kick up your food a notch like you wouldn't believe. Trust and believe. This is why we put it in everything. I'm going to show you how to make so many things with this sofrito. So I strongly suggest you watch this video, you go through it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And like always, thank you so much for watching. I'm having so much fun on YouTube. This is all new to me. So any advice you can give, any videos you want to see, leave them down below. I'll definitely, record them as I cook for my family. We got a couple good ones coming up. For those of you who want to know how to make arroz con gandule, which is our Puerto Rican rice and pigeon peas, that one's coming up. And I have a special chili recipe that I owe to Cousin Veronica. Yours is coming up too. And I actually use sofrito in my ground beef that I put in my chili. And the sofrito is going to be in the rice as well. That's why it's important that I put this video out there. So this video is going to be linked to those other videos so that you can get your shopping list together. Again, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you're having as much fun as I am. And like always, I tell you all the time, no matter how can't even talk, no matter how hard life gets, don't forget to smile. It looks good on you. I kid you not, this shit right here is not fake. I laugh every day, and I try my best to make you laugh. So if I did my job. Have a good night. Talk to you guys later, or have a good day, whatever time you watch this. Bye. Thanks, guys.